Okay, good morning, class. This is our second lesson for today, and this is on digital self. So, ano nga ba yung dapat natin tandaan on digital self? So, introduction, these days, most people are becoming active in using the internet for research, pleasure, business, communication, and other purposes. And indeed, the internet is of great help for everyone. And on the other hand, people assume different identities while in the cyberspace. And we act differently when we are online and offline. And we have our real identity and online identity. So we all know naman na internet is very useful in our lives. May it be pleasure for research, business, communication, courtship, o kung ano-ano pa man na purposes yan. Malaking tulong yung internet para sa atin. And losing it may become detrimental to us kasi mahihirapan tayo to communicate with other people. And also, as we recognize the relevance and the presence of internet, we should also know that people always act differently pagdating sa online at pagdating sa totoong buhay because we have the real and we also have the online identity na tinatawag natin. Now, to start it all, sino daw ba yung founder or inventor ng www o yung nilalagay natin sa URL? So that is Tim Berners-Lee who invented the World Wide Web na inilalagay natin doon sa URL. And it become an integral part of everyday life for most of the world's population. And to add to that, the Philippines is consistently one of the top countries na gumagamit or mayroong active internet users. Now, let's check if the following abstraction is correct. So sabi dito, more than half the world now uses a smartphone. So I think nowadays, medyo lagpas-lagpas pa, di ba? Sa kalahati yung gumagamit ng smartphones. Lahat meron na niyan. And almost 2/3 of the world's population now has a mobile phone. And more than half of the world's web traffic comes from mobile phones. So ano nga ba yung tinatawag natin na web traffic? Pag sinabi natin na web traffic, ito yung tumutukoy sa web visit natin or how we use the website for business and communication purposes. Yun yung web traffic na tinatawag. Next is more than half of all the mobile connections around the world are now broadband. So, syempre, marami na daw dyan ang gumagamit ng unlimited internet, hindi ba? Hindi lang basta-basta data or coming from our service provider on cell phones, but we are using broadband. And number 5 is more than 1 in 5 of the world's population shopped online in the past 30 days. During this time kasi class, yung abstraction na to, nagawa ito or itong PowerPoint presentation na to was made during the COVID-19 pandemic. Kaya yung sabi dito, marami daw sa world's population ay gumagamit ng online shopping. So, syempre, obviously, bawal tayong lumabas. Kaya po, mas mataas yung percentage ng nag-online shopping. Now, what are the things that we have to remember pertaining to digital self? So, pag sinabi nating digital self in general, this is the mask that we put on to engage in the technological world. So, kung kanina, if we discussed on the political self, it's how we build our ideologies, our beliefs, attitude, and also practices in encompassing our political self. This time naman, when we speak of digital self, this is how we mask, this is how we present ourselves in the technological world. Ano-ano yung mga ginagawa natin for us to be recognized as part of the technological world. Now, what are the terms that we have to remember? So the first one is the online identity. So pag sinabi nating online identity, it's the sum of all the characteristics and the interaction. So what are the behaviors na ipinapakita mo or what are the information that you show online? And what are the algorithms, di ba, na meron sa iyong social media accounts? Ano yung usual interactions mo? What are the interests na nakikita mo via online? And you can see this and you can easily detect this by just merely reading or maybe browsing through someone's profile page, di ba? Alam na alam mo ano yung mga interest niya, ano yung mga sinusundan niya, ano yung mga pagkain na hilig niya, just by merely looking at the shared post. But of course, this only talks about the online identity. Kasi nga, meron tayong klase ng self na gusto nating i-portray online or in the technological world. Next is the partial identity. So it's the subset of characteristics. So sabi natin kanina, for online identity, it's all the characteristics. It's the sum of everything. But when you say it's partial identity, it's just the subset. So it's like partial identity plus partial identity and plus another partial identity. Then that is equivalent to an online identity. So in this Facebook account, dahil friend ko yung professor ko, I will be showing that I am a very diligent and responsible student. But in my real dump account or maybe you call it your dump account, I will be posting everything that I want. So that's partial identity. Sino yung mga chosen audience mo for a specific social media account and what kind of characteristic would you like to portray? Ganun kasi yung digital self natin. It's how we mask and how we use the technology to protect our real self or our true self. Next is persona. So it's the partial identity that we create that represents oneself in a specific situation. So sabi ko nga kanina, it's always partial identity plus partial identity plus partial identity. So kung meron akong 3 Facebook accounts, meron akong 3 persona na gustong i-portray dyan. Let's say yung isa kong Facebook account is open to public, and everything about me is restricted. Maybe it will just be open to business or any other professional communication. Pero yung isa kong account, which is my personal account, may be limited to my close friends and families. So, ibig sabihin, ito yung klase ng identity or medyo mas close sa true self ko yung gusto kong ipakita. But for the other account naman, let's say ang kasama ko dyan ay mga estudyante ko, then I have another persona to portray. Or let's say, you have the third account wherein you're free to post everything without the judgment of other people. Maybe limited din or maybe kung merong cloud chasing na involved, then you are seeking the attention of other people, then po pwede din na mas marami yung friends or followers mo dyan. So that's how you manage the persona na tinatawag natin. But for personal identity naman, it's the interpersonal level of self that differentiates the individual as unique from others. So what is this personal identity na tinatawag natin? It's the interpersonal level. It's how you deal with other people. Okay? That will differentiate you from the others. Let's say, for this person, I am very friendly. But for this one, hindi ako friendly. Kasi I have a history na hindi ko na siya dapat pagkatiwalaan. So that's your personal identity. You have different personal identities because the people in your environment also are different. 'Di ba? May iba-iba din silang mode of relationship or mode of communication when it comes to dealing with you. And the last is the social identity. So pag sinabi naman natin na social identity, this is how you are being identified by the group that you belong to. Let's say, ito yung set ng kaibigan ko. At ang set ng kaibigan ko ay maaarte. Then, you may have or you may in a way conclude na baka maarte siya kasi maarte yung mga kaibigan niya. Because those are the types of people na nakakasalamuha niya. 'Di ba? And when you see naman na yung group ng people na pinipili niya ay mga seryoso, then you may also identify the person na baka seryoso siya, baka mahilig siyang mag-aral. So that's the social identity. Again, going back to this, when you say digital self, it is the mask and the general term that you use to identify all these 5 categories. But for online identity, it's the sum of all the characteristics and the interactions. So kung ano yung pinopost, kung ano yung nakikita mo sa kanyang account, then that makes the online identity. But when you say partial identity, these are the characteristics divided into parts na hindi mo agad-agad makikita because you were not a chosen audience for a specific social media or technological world na pinili niya. When you say persona, ito naman yung type ng person or type ng identity na ipinapakita mo in a specific situation or maybe in a specific group. But when you say personal identity, it's how you deal with other people. It has something to do with your interpersonal skill. But when you say social identity, it talks about the kind of friends that you deal with. Now, what's selective self-presentation and impression management? So, pag sinabi natin na self-presentation under the digital self, it's how you control other people and how you would like other people perceive you as an individual. Gusto ko makita nila na mayaman ako. So, every day I will be posting Starbucks. So, that's how I will be presenting myself. And these are the limits, and these are also the things that I may not be posting online. So that's also a form of self-presentation. Kasi gusto ko positive lang yung image na makita nila about me. Gusto ko magaganda lang yung feedback na nakukuha ko, then that is a self-presentation because there is a control within you. Okay, so you have to remember, class, that ito na yung sinabi ko during the first day of the meeting na anything that you post online, kahit na naka-only me pa siya, naka-friends lang siya, it is already considered public. Okay? Considered public na siya. It is for public consumption already and that the internet already has a record of it. So you have to be careful on what you post and you always have to think before you click. So what are the 2 types of self-presentation? The first one is, of course, your target is to please the audience. Gusto ko magustuhan nila ako. Gusto ko maging likable ang characteristic ko. So I will be posting this type of attitude online. And then for self-construction, I am going to build an identity na malayo naman talaga doon sa real identity ko. Let's say, mahirap lang kami at wala nga kaming pambili ng pagkain. Pero by using self-presentation, I can create another image that will be pleasing and also that will match my ideal self. So let's say dyan na pumapasok yung hindi naman talaga siya capable bumili ng Starbucks pero palagi siyang nagpo-post ng Starbucks coffee every day. So that is a form of self-construction. Yung isa, para magustuhan ka ng tao. Yung second one naman is para magustuhan mo yung sarili mo because you are trying to match it with what you want to be. So there are 3 definitions of digital self, or let's say 3 definitions when it comes to the use of self-presentation. So according to Belk 2013, ang sabi niya is, sharing ourselves daw is no longer new. Kasi since ages daw, we are already practicing such behavior. So ngayon naman daw, mas madali na lang para sa atin yung mag-share ng tungkol sa sarili natin because there is the online platform. But for Mendelssohn and Papa Charisi naman, sharing has something to do with sharing your photos. Diba? And sharing your photos was made possible because of Flickr and Photobucket. So there is self-photography. So kay Mendelssohn and Papacharici, diyan na uso yung tinatawag natin na selfie or self-portrait. Next is kay Swartz. We also entered the era of self-portraiture. And aside from self-portraiture, there is also the period of blogging and using of web pages. So pag sinabi natin na blogging, yung ngayon kasi vlogging, meaning you are telling a story using a video. Pero dati, when you say blogging, you are using your writing skill, your writing via web page, or you're creating your own website para masulat yung mga stories mo or idea mo. Pero ngayon kasi, for the famous bloggers, they're using the videos. So, yun yung tatlong mode of self-presentation ayon doon sa tatlong definition. Now, for Labrec et al., it is now concerned with oversharing. Minsan daw, we tend to become too comfortable in sharing our, personal, how do you call this? Personal dealings. And there is a possibility for us that we overshare. Yung mga bagay na hindi naman natin dapat isinishare na igagawa natin pagdating sa online. So when you say naman Gershon, yung kay Gershon naman is, there is a warning na you do not just share private details such as your passwords. Kahit na partner mo pa yan, kahit na adult pa yan or parents pa yan, it is just you who should know your password. Kasi it is for your privacy reason and also for the safety of the information na meron doon sa online account mo. And now for Vantage naman, is that we are unaware daw as people of the extent of information that we should share online or which should not be. Kasi minsan daw, we are really very much overwhelmed with the idea of sharing. Not knowing na yung mga sinishare pala natin is already annoying to other people and sometimes already opening so much about our personal lives. So, yun yung point ni Vantage. Now, what's fear of missing out or FOMO? Pag sinabi naman natin na FOMO, we always experience this one. Kasi nga, we are very much exposed to social media. We tend to compare the things na meron tayo, the things na nag-i-improve na sa atin, the things na kaya natin gawin. So that's FOMO. It's like, kapag may hindi ka alam, it's like giving you the feeling na, aba, parang nahuhuli na ako, parang hindi ko na yata alam to. So, dahil nga meron kang fear that you miss out some information, there is a possibility for you na magbabad ka sa internet, mag-search ka lalo, and maghanap ka ng mga bagay-bagay for you to become updated. So that's fear of missing out. Pag may uso, kailangan alam natin. Next is disinhibition effect. So pag sinabi naman natin na disinhibition effect, it causes the people to believe that they are able to express their true self better online than they could ever in face-to-face context. So, pag sinabi natin na disinhibition effect, mas madali daw para sa atin na magtapat, magsabi ng mga bagay-bagay, or i-express yung mga opinion natin using online, di ba? Kung mga away ka, may gusto kang sabihin sa mga sa parents mo or sa kaibigan mo, it is easier for you to chat them than to talk to them personally. So that's the concept of this inhibition effect. Next naman is self-revelation. So when you say naman self-revelation, it's the sharing of information about the self online, facilitated by the disinhibition and confessional effects. So kanina sabi ko nga, if it's this inhibition, it is easier for you to express yourself online. Mas madaling gawin para sa'yo yung mga bagay-bagay using the online platforms. Pero when you say naman the confessional effect, so from the word itself, confessions, so it's easier for you to release your feelings, diba? towards something or towards someone when you are using your online or digital accounts. So for question number 4, since you are tasked to watch the 2 videos, so tatlo yung tanong ko kanina, my 4th question is, can you give me one confession that you made using your online or digital account? Next is, it's the needed extended self due to loss of control. So parang kanina yan, yung sinabi ni Van de Dijk doon sa concept niya that we tend to overshare information and we do not know the limit of what we should share. Diba? Because sometimes it is really not fully under our control. And you have to remember that once you share something online, everything is now made to the public. So pag meron ka ng ginawa, na-post mo na yan, at nailagay mo na yan, it will be very hard for you to retract kung ano man yung image na gusto mong i-retract because there was already a representation na pwedeng nakita na ng unintended audience mo. So it's the loss of control. So once you post something, hindi mo na kontrolado yung reaction ng ibang tao and yung extent kung saan siya makakarating. Ganun yung concept ng loss of control. Kasi pinost mo eh. Kasi inilagay mo sa internet. So what's your assurance na hindi yan makakalabas sa iba? Hindi mo naman po pwedeng sabihin na you posted it online, now you're asking people to keep it as a secret. Medyo palinghado tayo doon sa aspetong yon. Next is the shared digital possession and aggregate self. So ano daw ba yung shared digital possession na tinatawag natin? So katulad nung kanina, going back, once you share something online, it becomes public kahit na ano pa yung setting niya. So that's the concept of shared digital possession. Since you let us see it, I am already your audience, then kung i-share ko man yan, it is also mine, diba? It is also my right to share it because it is now in the digital world and now a shared digital possession. So now, what's the aggregate self naman? Pag sinabi natin na aggregate self, this is your self that you portray online. Let's say, I am playing Mobile Legends and what's the aggregate self? So, I'm the character na pine-play ko doon sa Mobile Legend na yun. And since I am also playing as an aggregate self, so pwede kong makipagmurahan doon sa online game na yon, pwede akong magtinda because I am representing an aggregate self. And I am already a possession of that website and I have to perform my role as the aggregate self, as that character. Kung kailangan kong magbenta ng weapon, so magbebenta ako ng weapon. Kung kailangan kong makipag-chat doon sa ibang mga ka-team ko or kalaban ko, then I have to do it also because that's a role being performed by the aggregate self. Next is the shared sense of cyberspace. So it's the overlap of the digital aggregated extended self among those seeking access rather than ownership is apparent when we consider cyberspace as a public space that is occupied by partially rotating set of participants. So parang yung kanina lang din na sinabi kong there is a shared digital possession online. There is also the shared sense of cyberspace. We are playing in the same field, we are playing in the same game, therefore, kailangan makipaglaro ako base dun sa rules ng game na yon. Now, what's the difference between cyberspace and internet? So, pag sinabi natin na cyberspace, it's anything that can be associated with the internet. It may be theories, symbolic space that surrounds the internet, and that they are often used interchangeably because of its scope and influence. Pero when you say internet, it's like you are holding the actual book. So, it's when you browse it, when you're learning something from it, and there are written elements. So that's already the internet. Pero yung cyberspace, mas malaki siya. Gets? Again, yung internet, it's just like a book that you are browsing, you are reading, you are learning something. But when you say cyberspace, anything technological, anything electronic, anything that may specify browsing or the use of technology or digital space, then that's cyberspace. Pero pag internet, it is the idea wherein you are browsing or you are already trying to open a certain website. So that's internet. Now, when you say gender and sexuality online, so ano daw yung pinagkaiba ng sex and gender? When you say sex, it's the biological assignment. It's the physiological state. So when you are born and you have a penis, you are identified as a man. And kung may vagina ka, then you are identified as a woman. However, when you say gender, it has something to do with your choice and the role that you perform. It may be manifested by the behavior, yung pananamit, yung personality mo, and also your capabilities. So let's say you have a parent and you belong to a single parent family and it's just your mother who is raising you. And then your teacher asks you to bring your dad. Sino yung papadala mo? Ang ipapadala mo ay yung nanay mo. Why? Because kahit sinabi nila na ang ipadala mo ay father mo, your mother is also performing the role of your father. Therefore, she is also recognized as the father of the child or your father. So now, what is sexuality naman? Pag sinabi naman natin na sexuality, it's your individual expression and the understanding of desire. Meaning, yung sexuality na to is the general scope of sex and gender, yung mas malaking scope. Because it talks about the expression, how you show yourself, how you understand yourself. So that talks about your sexuality. Kung ano yung mga gusto mo, kung ano yung mga preferences mo sa buhay. So it talks about your sexuality. So now, how do you set your boundaries to your online self? So the first one is, before you post, you think if it's necessary. Kasi kung hindi naman yan necessary, hindi importante, then I suggest you do not post it. And when you say naman the level of importance, let's say makakasakit ba? It's like, will it be creating or giving harm to other people? So that also coincides with number 2. Kasi hindi ba, if there's no benefit, if it's not funny, if it's not warm-hearted, and there's nothing to learn from it, then I think you should not post it. Ganun talaga. Kasi when we're talking about self-presentation, how do you want others to appreciate you? 'Di ba? In my case, that's the reason why I also don't add my students to my personal Facebook account because I don't want to let my students cross the boundaries of me being their professor and also you being the student. So, that is my form of self-presentation. So, in number 3 naman, have we resolved this issue? Baka naman may problema ka, tapos masai-resolve yan by talking to the people personally. Hindi mo naman kailangang i-publicize, hindi mo naman kailangang ipahiya ang sarili mo at hindi naman kailangang malaman ng kapitbahay mo ano yung pinagdadaanan mo. You have to resolve it on your own. Kasi the fact that you post it is not just shaming the people na kaaway mo, but also you're putting yourself under the mud. And number 4 is, will this seem funny? Matutuwa pa ba ako 5 to 10 or 15 years? Or if magkaanak ba ako, magiging proud ba sila sa akin that I posted this one? So those are the considerations. Kasi hindi ba, most of the artists nowadays are very unconscious of they're not unconscious actually. They are very careless. They're posting everything as if no one will ever watch it. And without knowing na yung mga anak nila, lalaki one day, mapapanood yung mga interviews nila. Remember when one of the vloggers even said na meron silang STD, diba? That will be how do you call this? That will be a reason para mabuli yung mga anak nila na sana ikinip at ni-resolve na lang nila sa mga bahay-bahay nila. Now, Are you a good web citizen? So what are the rules that you have to follow? You stick to the safer sites. When you know that the sites have viruses or mga bagay-bagay na dapat ay hindi mo napapanood, or that may put your bank accounts and any other personal accounts at stake, then you should not go to those sites. Next is you guard your password. How do you guard your password? You should change your password at least once a month. Or you should avoid using your birthday as your password because other people may easily track it and may easily guess your password. And they may, of course, get into your account. Next is you limit what you share. Again, katulad nung kaninang guidelines natin, if you can resolve it at home, don't post it online because if you do not limit it, it becomes a public, how do you call it? It becomes a, uh, it, it becomes a part of the public space, or how do we call the shared cyberspace. Next is you remember that anything you put online, so alam na natin yan, there that you put online or post on a site is there forever kahit na i-delete mo pa yan. Kahit na limited pa yung settings niyan. So, tandaan mo lang, paulit-ulit nating sinasabi yan kanina. And syempre, do not be mean or embarrass people online. I already told you that you are already criminally liable. So whatever you post online, you create on GCs, parinig, or comments na harsh, then you may be criminally liable na. Next is always tell if you see strange or bad behavior online. So how do you do it? So, syempre, you report it. Kasi once you witness it at ano ka dyan, kumbaga, nagpikit mata ka na hindi mo yan nakita, you are also involved in that incident. And be choosy about your online friends. Hindi lahat ng tao ay ina-add mo, not even the strangers, because some of them are just luring you into something, or maybe just watching your moves and stalking your every action. Lalo na for girls and even boys, they are also unsafe when they add strangers to be their Facebook or maybe social media friends. And syempre, you have to be patient. Yung ini-imply kasi nitong module na to is that you do not just post anything just because you are very emotional, you want to get mad, diba? You post online still with critical thinking and with your mind overpowering your heart. Dapat hindi tayo nagpapatalo sa emosyon natin kasi it may harm us and it may harm us later on. So, yun lang po yung para sa digital self natin. So, what's my last question? My last question is, what is your biggest regret that you posted online? So, that's the question number 5 for today. So you have to answer that. What's the biggest regret that you posted online? Or what was that post that you regret the most? So, yun lang po. So, think before you click. And that's for your safety. And also, please be guided by the Cybercrime Prevention Act, as well as the Data Privacy Act. You have to remember those things. If it's not yours, you do not post it online. If it's not your numbers, if it's not your detail, then you're not allowed to post it online. If it will harm other people, if it will demean or hurt other people's feelings, then you don't also post it and do it online. Okay, so that's it for today and have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.